Welcome back to Caffeine Confessionals. My name is Allan Aguirre. It's been a minute. Sorry, folks. I'm really sorry I haven't been posting on this channel, but the challenge season 41, Vets and New Threats, is over. The finale aired last week, and I have so many thoughts about it. And in today's video, I'm going to be ranking the 17 women that appeared on Vets and New Threats, and I'm going to rank them based on who carried this season and who was the most important. It's not just based purely on competition because we know who won. We know who came in second. We know who got eliminated first. Today's video, I'm just going to be ranking them on all these different categories: entertainment, storylines, hookups, quality of TV presence, and competition. And when I say quality of TV presence, I mean just because you went far in the game doesn't mean you rank highly, because you could have just been wallpaper. Likewise, if you went out early but you made a splash, I might rank you higher than people might expect. I think this is going to be a fun video. Some of you might get really mad at me with who I rank highly, who I rank low. And if you disagree, tell me in the comments. Also, put your rankings of who you thought carried this season the most. Now, before we jump into the rankings, and if you just want to hear the rankings, I'm going to put a timestamp for where you can skip ahead. But I do feel an obligation first to acknowledge the fact that I have not been posting about season 41 and doing my weekly podcast recaps with my co-hosts Zoe and Luke. And I feel bad about it, so I gotta acknowledge that. If you want to skip ahead, skip ahead. But here's the story. Okay, so the simple answer for why I was not recapping season 41 is that for many years, MTV had been giving me episodes of the challenge in advance before they actually aired. Because my blog was creating so much traffic and because my Twitter was creating so much engagement, they gave me the episodes hoping that I could, promote the show for them. I took this privilege and I ran with it for many years, and it was such a help. It's why when the episodes would end, my podcast would air literally the second after. Going into season 41, though, MTV and their PR team completely ghosted me. I probably sent about 20 different emails, very polite ones, kind of just even at some points just begging for the episodes. And I never heard anything back. I don't know why they chose to do it. Maybe some of the things I say are too controversial. But I'm always going to be authentic for the content I create. And them giving me the episodes, it's a privilege. It's not a guaranteed right. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at them. I'm a little bit mad at them, but I'm not like completely mad. And for that reason, I wasn't recapping the episodes because I don't have cable. And my co-hosts, Luke and Zoe, they are working teachers. So the amount of time it would take for us to all watch the episodes and get to recording, it would have taken a while. I also wasn't going to pay for cable or YouTube or anything like that, in large part because if I have to spend money to make content about the challenge, then I am kind of inherently losing money. And I am 29 years old. I work a full-time job. And a big thing is that right now my family is under pretty big emotional and financial stress, as my brother has been battling cancer over the last year. I've been sending money back home to my family. I've been working odd jobs. I've been doing DoorDash. I've been doing whatever I can to help my family. And it's been a lot. And so the amount of time I was putting into, recapping challenge episodes on Twitter, Facebook, for YouTube, and my own individual blog, we're talking about 10 to 20 hours of work a week, when in that time period, I could be doing quite literally anything else that could make me money. And so I didn't feel like I wanted to lose money creating challenge content. I've put so much time into this show that I can't just start losing money on it now. And I love it, and I love the people that consume my content, but that's the lowdown of it all. If they send me the episodes for season 42, then weekly recaps will be guaranteed to be here. But until then, I really don't know whether or not I have the time and energy to do so. When I was 22 years old, I would find a way to pirate the episodes and I would get my content up immediately. But I'm almost 30 now. That's the lowdown of it. And it sucks because I really do love this show and I love engaging with you. So hopefully y'all can deal with me making content like this that's not maybe live week to week. I've talked way more than I expected here. Y'all probably just want to listen to the rankings, so let's just jump into that now. Apologies, though. I hope you all understand. Let's rank the season 41 women. Kicking us off at number 17, it is Cara Maria Sorbello. And I never imagined a world where I would rank Cara Maria as the least important person to a challenge season. But it was an unfortunate circumstance where Cara Maria's mom passed away and she left early into the season. I believe she only lasted 3 episodes. It was a bummer because you throw Kara onto a season and she's one of the power players. She's one of the most important characters on any season. However, since production knew she was leaving so early into the show, I don't feel like they edited her in that much. All we really got was a confessional where Michaela made fun of Kara, saying that Kara Marie has no idea what's going on with the game. Which, if those two people went head to head, I would have loved to see that. Michaela and Kara are two power players. That would have been a fun rivalry. Sadly, we didn't get any of that, and hopefully Carl will be back in the future. I know if Cara Maria's passionate fans find this video out of context, they're gonna be so mad that she got ranked last. However, someone who has just as crazy and passionate fans, it's number 16, America Lopez. And I loved America on Big Brother. I loved her on Rob Has a Podcast. Loved seeing her pop up on my Twitter feed. But boy, she was on 13 episodes of this season of The Challenge, and I can't really tell you much of what she did. I mean, she wasn't amazing in the daily challenges. She didn't even get to compete in her elimination against Naya. Her and Leroy went out in very unceremonious fashion. They were just a team that existed. And I think, particularly shocked to see America have such little impact on my TV screen, given the fact that on my Twitter timeline when I wasn't watching the show, I kept seeing her name pop up from her fans and on podcasts with Johnny Bananas where they're talking about her and allegedly, she might have been kissing some girls while under the influence of alcohol. And it sounded like she had a fun time. It sounded like she was an interesting character from what we didn't see, but based purely on the show we saw, America did nothing. So I can't rank America highly based on the theoretical version of her, especially like from what I can tell, she doesn't want that stuff to be shown of her. So I don't. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Rank her highly based on a theoretical person? No, I have to analyze the show in front of me, and the show in front of me, there was really no America, despite her being on for such a long time. And I really wanted her to be a big character because I loved her on Big Brother, but she just wasn't anything on the challenge. So apologies to America fans out there, but I mean this wasn't your girl season. Moving on to number 15, it's another person who did not get eliminated. It is Nia Moore, who had to leave the game episode 3 due to a medical injury where she injured her knee in the opening hike up the mountain in episode 0. It sucks to see Nia go out this way because if you want to see someone get eliminated, it's in the arena where they won or lost or they proved themselves in some way. Nope, Nia hurt her knee. She didn't get to compete in the daily challenge. They eliminated her at the arena right there with America. Before Nia left, though, before she left, she got completely disrespected by rookie Gabe, and Nia gave him a really good straight talking to. That was not a full Hurricane Nia performance, but was a little bit of a sprinkle. Now, it's not enough for me to rank her highly, but it's a little bit more that I can at least remember her for than I could America. So that's why Nia is 15. As a whole, I don't know if I really need Nia back on the challenge again. She announced she was retired from the show, but all these people retire from the show and then they come back anyway. So are they ever really retired? Not really. I know I said I was going to talk about competition, but Nia getting injured on just the opening hike and the fact that she hasn't finished top 3 in an individual or pair daily challenge since 2015, like, is actually a bummer, and it shows that maybe the challenge isn't meant for her anymore, especially if she's not popping off like she used to be. But yeah, Nia at 15. Now, before I go into number 14, I want to acknowledge that season 41 of the challenge was pretty damn good. And I say that because everyone from here on out, I feel like at least made a little bit of an impact on the show. And that transitioned us into number 14, who is John A. Mannion. John A came in as a replacement for Cara Maria. They take a 2-time champ out, they bring a 2-time champ in, and John A is suddenly competing on the flagship again. We last saw John A on All Stars 5, where she was unfairly partnered up with Beth, which gave her no shot at competing. And coming in as an alternate at this point in the game for season 41 was not great for John A either, because the politics of that game was already established. She was so behind everyone and the scoreboard when it came to the daily challenges. And, she hadn't been training really either. So John A was put in a really tough spot. And then she got the paranoid label, which she was kind of paranoid. It just wasn't her best showing. At the same time, watching the dynamic between her and Gabe was a really good, I don't want to say it was really good TV, but it was at least an entertaining storyline where Gabe just kept disrespecting John A, and you just kind of wanted John A to get the upper hand in some way and show him what. And in their elimination, John A went toe to toe with the Vive, and she proved to still be a good competitor. It wasn't the best TV ever. It wasn't the best showing, but I couldn't take my eyes off of John A because her game was just cratering in such a ugly and disastrous fashion. In contrast to the tire fire that was John A's season, at number 13, I have Aviv Bruno. It is so impressive seeing how well Aviv has transitioned into the challenge after not being on the show for nearly 20 years. As a physical competitor, she is performing at a high level and impressed many of the men who wanted her as a partner. Socially, she built bonds with both the veteran ladies in the game, but then also rookie men like Jeremy, who wanted to be her partner. And we all saw what Jeremy could do in this game. At the same time, Aviv ranks 13 because even though she went so far into this game and was actually theoretically so close to winning it, she just doesn't bring much to the TV screen. And there are so many episodes where you forget she's even there. It was really cute to see her appear on season 40 as a one-time champ who finally gets her, moment to come back. But I'm not really digging Aviv as a married mom who's not going to start drama or hook up, being on the show. She is a good competitor. She is good at the social political game, which is why I'm going to still give her credit, but I have no desire to see Aviv on the flagship show again. I'm okay with seeing her maybe again on an All Stars, but in terms of the flagship, no. But kudos to her for getting very far into the game, for playing it well. And obviously, there was the moment with Jeremy staking his claim and, Aviv turning on Nani. Not turning on Nani, but smartly playing the game. That was an impactful moment to the show. So Aviv at 13. And now, someone very different from Aviv, because while Aviv went very far in this game, this person was the first woman eliminated, and that is Blue Kim, who I have at number 12. Yes, Blue Kim at number 12, above all these people who went further in the game. And here's why. Blue Kim is fun. Blue Kim has the energy of a challenger. She goes on social media. She's very aware of how far she went. But man, I want to see Blue Kim on another season to maybe hook up with someone, to just be a fun presence in the house. Additionally, her elimination with Tay was one of the best first eliminations of the season. They both scrapped. They both showed a lot of energy. I wish Blue Kim had just lasted a little bit longer because she was definitely making an impact in the house socially where people really liked her. Unfortunately, Derek was no help in a mental daily challenge that got her set directly into elimination. But Blue Kim, man, very short amount of screen time, but I ate up every minute of it. Give me Blue Kim for 2 more seasons of the challenge at least. I just want to. I think if you give her 2 more seasons, she has the chance to do something special. Another person who I think has potential going forward, at number 11, I have Leica Sodade. Justice for Leica, everyone. Justice for Leica. I mean, that whole idea lasted a whole 3-4 episodes. It was a big part of CT's arc on this season. Now, I do wonder how much do people use Leica's name rather than the impact she would have actually had she been on the show. Regardless, though, she had an episode named after her, and Leica looked like a very strong competitor physically. She's a former collegiate basketball player. I think if she came back onto the show, she would kind of be a force because she looked very willing to play the game both politically and socially. Had she and Sydney, who were kind of besties on the season, been there together, they might have been running stuff a little bit more, or maybe they would have had a bigger target on them as a duo. So Leica has some potential going forward. Justice for Leica. 11 feels like a fitting spot. And someone else now at number 10, who I was pleasantly surprised by, Tay Wilcoxon. Tay might be the prettiest woman the challenge has ever seen. Should that add to her ranking? Yes, because literally every time Tay is on our screen, it's you just gotta look. She's just so gorgeous and stunning. And as a competitor, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, her elimination of Blue Kim is one of the better first eliminations this show has ever had. Just two evenly matched girls going toe to toe. She had a really impressive elimination win where she blew out Izzy, and we all thought Izzy was a really strong player, but Tay cleared the floor with her. During the mini final, she looked to be running with like good strides. I think Tay actually has the potential to be a strong competitor, and then she's also like gorgeous and fun, and she's the type of young, pretty personalities we need on the challenge. Do I think she's going to be a big, massive character on this show? No, but I could see Tay being a good figure to have for a 2 to 3 season, you know, little period. I'd like to see her get a showmance in the future. I don't know what her relationship status is, but I like Tay on my screen. Number 10, perfect for her. Switching over to number 9 and staying on the rookie train, we have Izzy Faithhorn. And Izzy had one of the hottest starts to a challenge career I've ever seen. She finished first place in the opening day zero daily challenge, where her cardio made her look like a big final threat. Then she hooked up with Rogan, which that's such a bad decision, but is such good reality TV. And then she then had a political alliance with Olivia, the UK players, and some of the rookie guys. And Izzy looked like she was a full triple threat for the challenge. Unfortunately, as the season went on, Izzy kind of unraveled. Any daily challenge where it took any problem solving skills or any actual thinking, she just was not a threat, and it really played a big factor in her elimination loss to Tay. I was also a bit disappointed that rather than playing the political game, she was just more becoming Olivia's spy and rat and was then targeted for that. It was which like obviously that's part of the game, but I want to see Izzy be her own free thinker rather than just Olivia's pet. I think Izzy has the potential to be a challenge superstar. I would sign her to another 3 seasons right now. And I think she has such a massive, strong challenge career ahead of her. I'd like to see her and Rogan on an exit season. I'd just like to see Izzy again because, well, all the things I said before, she's willing to play the game, she's willing to make bad decisions, and she's there to compete physically. It's just the question is, can she figure out the other stuff? Regardless, Izzy had a great rookie season, and I think she could be a potential future star of this franchise. By the way, it is getting darker in this video because the actual lighting outside is getting darker. So let's move it along and go from a future star to an already established legend. At number 8, we have Ashley Millionaire Mitchell, who made her return to the challenge on the flagship show, finally, for the first time since Spies, Lies, and Allies. It was so awesome to have Ashley back on our screen. Her confessionals just bring so much liveliness and comedy to the show. I am a big fan of Ashley. This podcast is a big fan of Ashley. I'm really sad Luke isn't here to talk about getting her back in our life. Ashley is still a mess like always. She's ready to pop off on people. She's getting into fights. She's freaking out in daily challenges and is still proving to be a good competitor at times, though I will say Ashley was a half step slower and her puzzle skills weren't as good as they used to be. Now, I do think getting the rust off could be good for future seasons, and I think Ashley is someone I want to see on every season of the challenge because she adds to it, whether it's drama, hookups, or competition. Ashley does it all. Now, I was wondering at times whether or not her little rivalry with Anissa would really be Ashley's only main storyline. It kind of was. In terms of actual storylines, like Ashley could have brought more to the table, but her presence alone is always entertaining. And her and Leo, man, if they had figured things out, those two were a very dangerous pair in this game. And man, watching back that final, I'm like, these two could have actually won. They just were never fully on the same page. But man, I really like Ashley. Put her on another season, whether it's exes, rivals, etc. She has so many great partners, even as just an individual. Ashley at number 8. Now you're going to be all very shocked at who I have at number 7 because I love Ashley so much and I detest this person. But at number 7, we have Anissa. Anissa. Anissa was involved in so many storylines this season, and she entered the season with her own storyline where she was in the best shape of her life. And because she was in the best shape of her life, Anissa thought, oh, I'm going to win the challenge now. I'm going to kill a final. And I want to give Anissa credit. She is in the best shape of her life. So good job, Anissa, on that. However, Anissa was still not in the type of shape you need to run a final. She came in last alongside Naya amongst the women in that opening hike. Uh, she lost weight in part because she probably took a GLP-1. Anissa was very quick to tell people online, I never took Ozempic, but she probably took some GLP-1. I mean, based on everything I've heard, that's what she did, which good on her for doing that to like, it can make you more healthy, but it's not the end all be all. Because if you're going to win a final, you got to be running every single day, basically, to be ready to compete. Anissa didn't do that, but she felt entitled for the win. So it continued the storyline of Anissa being this person who feels entitled to a win. Also, she didn't have her vacation alliance to carry her anymore, so she still felt entitled in the game to make friends, but all these people were then pointing out, like, hey, Anissa, you're being wishy washy on both sides. So Anissa's messiness really drove a wedge between the Olivia Theo alliance, who Anissa was like very much aligned with, and then the OG vets of Nani and Ashley and Aviv. And so we had beef between Anissa and Nani, Anissa and Ashley, and we got fights between them in multiple episodes. And then we had Anissa, who had actually a pretty cute relationship with her partner Jake. Anissa was all over the place. And then you have the behind the scenes stuff where apparently Anissa called Casey to tell her that Nani had been hooking up with Will. And then whatever happened between Anissa and Will, which crossed boundaries. I mean, I don't want Anissa on the show. I think she's kind of a fucking terrible person. But you can't deny her impact on this show because like this season Anissa was entangled in so many different things that she really shouldn't have been a part of but still was. So maybe Anissa is a better character than I'm giving her credit for historically, but yeah. Anissa at number 7. Going from someone I dislike to someone I love, at number 6, D Valadares. And some people might say I'm overrating D and that she didn't do too much on the show. I disagree. I think Dee hooking up with Will before getting into the house and then having a showmance with bananas in the house for like political reasons is like a perfect encapsulation of a reality TV character because she saw Will is like that guy's kind of hot. I'm gonna bang him. But in the game, bananas is gonna give me camera time. He's a power player, and it's gonna be way better for my game, or at least she thought, to be hooking up and manipulating bananas. And Dee was gonna like flirt and social game her way to the final. The problem was the scoreboard aspect of the game because Dee was not a bad player and she was pretty good physically, but she wasn't accumulating as much points as the other top girls. And then she got stuck with Derek as a partner, and Derek is just was injured, not really any help with puzzles, and so they came in last in a daily challenge, lost in elimination. It was a brutal experience for Dee, especially knowing the fact that she wasn't the reason they lost their elimination. I think in a different world, Dee could have went a lot farther in this game. I like what she brings as a character because she has that star factor. I mean, because she's one survivor already, like she walks into a house and you're like, that is someone who carries themselves at a high level. It's like Michelle Fitzgerald, but with way more confidence. Because Michelle has the survivor winner aspect of herself, but Dee has that and just utter confidence in whatever game she's competing in that she'll do well. I want to see Dee on multiple future seasons, as well as this person who I have at number 5, Miss Michaela Bradshaw. We last saw Michaela on Challenge USA 2, where after her flame out on Spies, Lies, and Allies, she went to the final of that season, was the best player in the daily challenges, came into this season, and she really impressed me both politically and physically. She was top of the board of the women in the daily challenges, so much so that she was even able to throw that daily challenge to throw CT into elimination and not even have to worry about herself because she still had the number 1 overall pick. Like, Michaela is such a great daily challenge competitor. She also won 2 eliminations where she completely like knocked Nani into the shadow realm. Her and Cedric were a great pair. Unfortunately, when it came to the final, Michaela's ankles did not hold up. And I'm beginning to wonder whether or not like Michaela will ever be physically able to run a final at a high level and win. That almost feels unfair to say because she did complete the final this season, but third place is not winning. And Michaela wants to win, and everything she does in this game reflects a player worthy of winning. Her injury history does really suck because Michaela has endurance. She has cardio. She has the ability to like Her heart has the ability to run a final. It's just her ankles don't, and it really sucks to see. But as a season, like what Michaela did was so impressive, given that all these other vets have so much intertangled history. Whereas like Michaela had really only ever been on a flagship, not even the flagship, on an extended show with like Johnny Bananas before. Everyone else there, she was only in the house for Spies, Lies, and Allies for one episode. And yet Michaela was such a figurehead of this season, both politically and physically. It also is a testament that like I have her at five because like everyone else from here on out is like even more impressive to me. And yet Michaela has a very valid argument to be number one. Something I would like to see from Michaela going forward, though, is maybe a showmance or something. I mean, if she doesn't want to date the people in the house, she doesn't have to. But I like to see her get involved in that part of the game. She also had the rivalry with Olivia that I want to mention because it was two power women going at each other. Michaela did not bully her. I want to say this. Michaela 100% did not bully Olivia, but she was really fucking mean to her. I felt like she was really on her neck. Regardless, I like seeing power players go at each other. You don't have to be nice on reality TV. You really don't. And so the more messiness, the better. Michaela at number five. And then now at number four, we got another rookie. At number four, we have Adrian Naylor. From the moment Adrian popped up on my TV screen, I was like, ooh, this person is different because she just had such a charisma to her that made me just want to like, I wanted to watch her talk forever. And I think she's willing to talk forever too. Adrian has a defined personality that we don't get on reality TV these days anymore. And I think part of it too is that Adrian has a very fascinating story where she lost so much weight and completely transformed herself. But in those years where she was probably a bigger girl, I mean, she probably formed a personality rather than just being this influencer type. Adrian was willing to speak her mind. She was part of that rookie trio with her, Izzy, and Tay, and she lasted the longest because she proved to also be a kick-ass competitor. There were so many moments where it came down to puzzles where Adrian stood out. She almost single-handedly won the Sudoku challenge. She was just anything where it took brains, Adrian kicked butt. And she also physically just would never quit. She took control in a couple of her eliminations with her and Theo. Again, won 4 eliminations. She won 4 eliminations, went to the final, and I mean, she was carrying Theo through most of day 1. Day 2 is a different story, but maybe she doesn't burn out in day 2 if she didn't have to carry so much weight from Theo. Who knows? But like Adrian, like you are awesome. You are, I mean, like get her a showmance, or I don't know if she has a boyfriend or, but like get her a showmance because she's willing to scrap with anyone. She's willing to compete, and just, I mean, even if she was just the narrator for the show, it's gonna make it a better show because Adrian is a star. I mean, like I don't even need to see her on the challenge. Put Adrian on like a Real Housewives show or just her own reality show, and I'll watch because she's very interesting. And again, it's a testament to this season that she's number 4 right now. And now at number 3, we have our last rookie, Miss Sydney Siegel, a woman who in this season alone is maybe staking a claim that she's the most talented female competitor we've ever seen in challenge history. Sydney is an Ivy League graduate, a lawyer, and a former collegiate cross-country runner and a state champion cross-country runner. She absolutely demolished the season 41 final and was the best competitor overall. She kicked ass in the mini final. Any puzzles, any trivia, any swimming, Sydney is so damn good. And when we talk about Sydney, we got to compare her to the all-time greats because, like, okay, is Laurel bigger than her? Maybe a little bit more natural in some of the weirder daily challenges? Yes, but Sydney is outrunning her in any final, and she's better at puzzles than Laurel too. Evelyn, very good comparison, both Ivy League grads. However, I think Sydney is just better at puzzles than Evelyn ever was. And again, I mean, who else are we going to talk about? Maybe Emily? But Emily was never like as good at puzzles as Sydney. Same with Jody, same with Rachel, and so many of these other competitors. Because like Sydney can back it up physically and mentally, and then she just carries herself with so much deserved arrogance. It's like watching Wes talk on screen, except she's better than Wes. No offense, Wes, but like Sydney's better than you at running and doing puzzles and competing on the challenge. Like Wes is, I mean, we're talking about West, who's like one of the greatest to ever play, but like I think Sydney has much more natural ability than he does. Um, I do wish Sydney was getting into it with people a little bit more in the house because at times she did feel like a confessional gangster, and that's why she's at number three and not at number one. Because if not, I mean, like if she was starting to mix it up and tear people down the same way that like Laurel kind of does, and getting into it people the way Evelyn would, it'd be a different situation. However, I do think being partnered with Turbo put Sydney in a tough situation where she just had to like deal with him a lot of the time rather than getting into fights with people. I mean, you can't be getting into fights with people when you're already trying to like be a parent over Turbo. Regardless, like Sydney is an all-time great, and if she comes back, she will become a champion. And people should target her if she comes back because she's such a big threat. I do question though. One of those things that I do wonder because Sydney has said she's not coming back to the challenge. I don't fully believe her because I think she really likes competing. I think she really wants to win, not for the money, because she already has money from her family and from her job and everything. But I think she wants to win for honor and for just like the prestige of like showing people she's the best at something. I hope Sydney becomes one of the best players we've ever seen. And I hope it's not a Heather Cook situation where we only talk about her, theoretically. But hey, if I was doing the same type of recap about Rivals too, I'd be ranking Heather Cook just as highly as I do Sydney now. And Sydney's better than Cook. I mean, she is. Sydney's really damn good at this show. While I do believe Sydney was the best female competitor on season 41 and probably the best competitor overall on season 41, I am going to give credit at number two to the person that actually won, and that is Olivia Kaiser. Man, oh man, I cannot believe Olivia had such a sensational season, especially if you follow this podcast and channel, because after season 39, Ride or Dies, I said Olivia threw away her challenge career. When she turned on to Reese and then refused to become a villain, I said there's nothing Olivia can do to redeem herself unless maybe she like saved a kid from a burning fire, which she didn't do that around, but winning a final while pregnant was pretty damn close to that. Olivia came into this season after being very unimportant on season 40. Like, yes, she had her showmance with Theo, and yes, she kind of, had a rivalry between Bananas and then her and the Ladies of Leisure, but she was the least important Lady of Leisure in that whole game. Yet, Olivia came into this season having trained, having not drank alcohol for a few months, in the best shape of her life. She was going to play the game politically. Her and Theo rallied up the rookies the same way Wes would on a season like X's 2. And it's like, hey, we're going to go after Bananas. And so Olivia went straight for the king. She went for the head. She wasn't going to play friendship anymore. And Olivia made clear like lines of division. Because I think the fear with Olivia coming into the show was that she would just be another Tory, where she tries to be friends with everyone and is super fake. That wasn't the case this season. Olivia made her alliances, but then was clearly against certain people. Her rivalry with Michaela was fun to watch. Obviously, it was her and Theo against the world. And like all throughout the game, we saw Olivia make moves. She had Izzy as a spy. She manipulated Gabe into staking a claim. Uh, Olivia picked Will as a partner because it was a smart game move rather than, someone who would be easier to work with. And because she picked Will, it saved him for a bit. There was the whole stake a claim thing with her and Jeremy. And then her and Jeremy came together and they kicked butt in that final. And people were going to say that Jeremy carried her, but Olivia was second place in the daily challenges. Regardless, like she was right behind Michaela, and she was a good player the entire season. Like Olivia, man, like I like apologies to her for what I said after season 39 and season 40, but I did truly believe Olivia would never be an important person on the challenge again, and now she's a champion, and she earned it because she was a big figure throughout the house the entire time, and you had people trying to tear her down, you had people who were building her up, and throughout all of it, she still came out on top. She still kept her head in the game, and like, look, is she a perfect competitor? No, but Olivia did that shit. Her and Theo, also one of the biggest power couple seasons ever. Both of them going to the final together. Both of them, like one of them actually getting the win. Credit to her. Credit to Olivia. I don't know if we're ever going to see her back again now that she's had a kid, But man, like what she did was so impressive. Moving on from our champion to our number one overall most important woman of season 41. And if you haven't figured it out, you might be shocked, you might be mad, you might be surprised, especially because this person didn't even make the final. It's Nani Gonzalez. And Nani gave us a Hall of Fame season of entertainment. And I have to issue another apology. You know, the same way I didn't believe Olivia could ever come back and be important on the show, I was so down on Nani after Ryder Dies and Spies, Lies, and Allies because her relationship with Casey made her a total bore. I felt like she de-evolved from like one of the most entertaining people the show has ever seen to someone I didn't really care to see again. Well, Nani came into this season single and she was shooting on all cylinders. We'll get into her hookup in a minute, but let's just talk about Nani's political game because even though she wasn't with Casey anymore, Nani was still playing the game smart, and she formed a veteran alliance with her, Aviv, and Nani, and they created bonds with some of the stronger men throughout the house, and they were able to make moves and attack Olivia and their alliance after Bananas was gone. She didn't have to rely on Bananas to play the political game anymore. Nani was playing the game for herself. So much so that like that bond with her and Ashley was really groundbreaking because those two, Ashley and Nani, had so much animosity in seasons prior that I would rank it as one of the top 10 rivalries in challenge history. And yet they were in lockstep and they were playing the game together. Nani was able to peep Anissa's bullshit, where even though her and Anissa were allies in the Vacation Alliance, Nani could see that Anissa was playing both sides and she was with Olivia. So she called her on that. That's why we got some Nani and Anissa drama. Then, of course, as I mentioned already, Nani then had a showmatch with Will Gagnon. And Will was hot and he was a good competitor, but also so emotionally messy. And those two were just like two powder kegs of entertainment put next to each other, and they created such a massive explosion. And I'm not just talking about Will exploding into Nani, like in that one episode where she had a magical orgasm, as we could see. But these two had such a messy and good dynamic to watch because at times they were clicking and at times they were definitely not. And the way it ended was so beautifully messy. Because as I said before, Nani was playing a great political game until she wasn't. Until the old Nani came out and her emotions came into play and she gave Aviv the heads up that Aviv and Jeremy were going to get blindsidedly voted into elimination. And in one swoop, Nani blew up her game. She blew up Will's game. She blew up their showmance. And they had a big old fight in front of everyone. And it was like watching a car crash happen live. And then the car started exploding. And it was so bad yet so good at the same time. Oh my God, only Nani could ever pull that off. It was that's not even a rookie mistake. It's a Nani mistake. Her and Justin had such a good pairing. And then the following week after that whole blow up with Will, where Will gets eliminated, their whole showmatch ends, and Nani's falling apart. She's reading his letter and stuff like that. And then she's blowing up on Cedric and Michaela, and she's making Cedric an interesting character for an episode, and she's just willing to fight and argue with everyone. And then to lose so close to the final was heartbreaking because it's the most Nani thing to do, and it's a continued storyline. And just it was so engaging and entertaining to watch. Nani carried the back half of this season into the final, which is so important because in so many recent seasons of the challenge, the episodes have died off and just dragged on until we get to the final. But Nani said, no, 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 no. I'm going to make it entertaining from all angles. Drama, competition, politically. Like Nani added so much flair that is what made to the end of the season, and it made it a whole season rather than one that like, oh, the season started strong and then ended weak. No, this season started strong and ended strong because of Nani. And man, if her and Justin had actually gotten to that final, their cardio and their builds would have done really well, which makes the loss hurt even more, and it makes everything it makes it all hit just such at a different level. Nani is maybe the most entertaining woman in challenge history. Just like full stop. The way she's just contributed to the drama and entertainment of this show for, I mean, now 2 decades is so impressive. And like, man, imagine putting her and Will together on X's 3. That's going to be good TV. It really is. Single Nani is just one of the most dynamic characters the show has ever seen. God, season 41's awesome because I'm talking about Nani. I was just talking about Sydney, Adrian, Michaela, Dee, Olivia. The challenge is in a good place. I mean, comparing this season to what we just had in season 40, it is such a step up. So, yeah, Nani takes the number one spot. I'm going to do the men's list hopefully on this channel this week or next week. I hope you all enjoyed listening. It's been good to talk about the challenge. It's funny because like this took a while to record, even though you're going to watch it, it's going to be like 20 minutes. I'm just like, it started as daylight and now it's dark outside. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, Caffeine Confessionals. We have a Spotify too for the podcast and stuff like that. Hopefully it'll be back soon. Hopefully I get screeners again one day, but regardless, we're going to come out with challenge content. Have a great night, everyone.